And his book, What I Want to Say to You, it's in the book, okay? This is Ron, you're going to see him shortly, but that is available on Amazon. In addition to poetry, Ron has written screenplays, short stories, essays, blogs, Facebook posts, I've done Facebook posts, letters to the editor, and has starred in several movies. A resident of San Antonio for many years, Ron is originally from Michigan and has traveled widely, and widely, including sojourns to Mexico, where he lived upon the enchanted beach Ixcasel. Ixcasel? We have to talk. It was in the 80s, so we have to talk. He has a YouTube channel, and the name is Elijah One. Okay, I told you it's going to be on the test. So, where you can hear more of his work and performances. You don't have to go there now because he's here right now. So please welcome to the stage, aka Elijah, Mr. Ron Bays.
Wow, thank you, Michael. It's a great honor to be here and a lot of fun to perform. And thanks to Jill for all her energetic organizing, and to the bookstore and everybody who came here. We live on a planet. It's a round ball. It's suspended in cold, dark, empty, endless space. We belong to the human race. Embrace. The struggle is to regain our humanity. This feels just like the 60s again, when the young people rose up and took back their power. Hell no, we won't go, was our chant. The military machine scooped up our comrades in arms and shipped them overseas to fight a war in the jungles of a foreign country. Some of you might remember. Yes. Michael. Yes. Well, we brought the house down. Mahatma Gandhi did it in India. Martin Luther King, Cesar Chavez, Muhammad Ali spoke truth to power and would not answer to a slave name. Google it, it's on YouTube. The revolution will be televised from the drone shots of Standing Rock to the Purple Mountains majesty. Cell phones are already posting, Facebooking exploding, YouTubian glowing. Networks of communication are flowing from among the branches of our great nation, like-minded human beings of all creation. Mother Earth and Father Sky and Father outer space, and God watching over us like a theater piece or something. Poor humans down there acting out their drama, their passion play, their death wish perhaps to die and be reborn again in a heavenly realm where all desires are exactly and easily met. Kind of like the don't fall off the stage. Kind of like the ancient people back who lived around us back in the day, around the springs. Back when the garden was our home, not our hobby. But we destroyed all that to build houses and cars and weapons to destroy others who do not believe in destroying like we destroyed. Now we're tired. We elected Donald Trump. How lame is that? And everything is going to be great again. Everything except for that one small dark splotch on our window of opportunity, mortality. Who invited you in? I wanted to live forever, I guess. Wait a minute, you have to die. But first you have to live. Rise up! Rise up! The struggle is to regain our humanity. This feels just like the 60s again, when the young people rose up and shattered the complacency of a nation. Complacency of a nation. That's why I brought this along. Because every time I do this poem, I like blank out. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. Maybe because I went to public education and Baptist church for all my childhood. It was the 60s. It was the 60s, yeah. The young people rose up and shattered the complacency of a nation resting on its laurels, its conspicuous consumption, its empty warehouses of lost love, believing in God but not knowing God. It was already here, fully manifest, the Virgin, the saints, and all the angels already here. No need to wait any longer. Let's do this thing. In the name of thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day is the prayer we pray. Adorate, meditate, supplicate. Don't obfuscate the issues. This is you too. Hello, can you hear me? Earl kissed down on my iPhone. I don't know why. I just wanted to get it right. Right on, right down. Down syndrome, autism, vaccination, procrastination, defeated nation, irascible conjugation of Israelis searching for the promised land at the edge of the desert sand. Fresh ideas born on the edge of the stratosphere, where we can look down and view our hemisphere and all the lovely life here. Making plans for procreating. Take two such genres, merge them together. Get up on your bike and ride. Fill your brain with oxygenated air. I wrote this on a cool wet day, on a mission from God. A message of hope. It appeared to me in the clouds as I rode by. Hey, look, we've made a mess down here, admit it. It's not too late to clean it up. Or at least we could try. Any smart species would do that, Homo sapiens. Hey, the Neanderthals are gone, didn't make it. Homo erectus 2 fell down, couldn't get up. Hey, Homo sapiens. How smart are we? The end. Okay, so I'm a child of the 60s. I kind of came of age in the 60s. I was in revolutionary times. That's where I found my identity. So I am still in that spirit. I think we need revolution. But what that means to you in your personal life, it's unique. Some people like to march in the street and yell and scream. Some people, it's a cultural revolution. Some people like to write poetry. For some people, it's a social revolution. Everybody can do something to connect to your heart, to feel your humanity and make a change, do something. That's the revolution I believe in. I'm still trying to pull this mic up higher, but it doesn't go any higher. So. Trees. Cheers. Symbiotic creatures. Choose. When trees breathe out, we breathe in. Multi-level organisms, multifaceted millions of leaves quaking in the breeze. Anything can happen at any moment. Don't forget about that. Trees stand alone and yet they're connected. They share volatile chemicals through the air and messages along their fungal networks underground, where elves and dwarves endeavor together to make things happen. Elves, of course, are known more for being above ground, but trust me, they do work with the dwarves. And the dwarves, they make their handiwork in the air sometimes. Have you ever seen a leaf? Our timeless companions, O tree of life, O tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Bless us, please, with your fruits. Give us shade. And harbor our scariest monsters in your forest, so we may find our way again, holding high the torch of fire in one hand, burning bright the wood's darkest grain, and knowing again that all our monsters are only our own fears with horns. Compound leaves serrated, bipinnal lacerated, conjugal chopped down, macerated, cut up into building blocks, 2x4, shipped and shaped into everything a man's desire, including medicine and fire, clothing and paper, canoes and the news, so we can see how far we've come. The trees, our tireless companions, give us these things. They're not afraid and have never run away from any man. They recycle easily, just topple over and drop. They stand 300 feet high in the forest of the great Northwest, Giant old trees that were here when Columbus arrived, watching, making history with their rings. Douglas fir. And high up in the desert plateau of the Rocky Mountain Central Range, there grows the oldest living thing on earth, bristlecone pine. And cedar, elm, and Spanish oak, and chinaberry, and hackberry, bur oak, and willow, all growing in my yard. They watch over my house. The Spanish oaks that the squirrels planted in just the right place, maybe out of gratitude or possibly a conspiracy of elves. I just don't know for sure. I do try to say hi to the trees, smell the bark at least, or notice the fissures of age moving up slowly, slower than I can see, working their way into the sky at least, or the understory, the story of our race, where we came from out of those branches one day and started walking around on the savannas of Africa, looking around for tigers on the ground and noticing things. Hey, I've got hands now. Let's build some tools. I'll make my own house with a big bed. No more gnarly, bumpy branches for me. But we could never really leave the trees. They have been imprinted on our genes. We shared a common ancestor a billion years ago, not so long if you keep the far view. Keep your head up, look around, build some tools, and communicate with your high-level language skills to all your fellow poets and pilgrims, your fellow tribal mates, hunting and gathering partners, and girlfriends. Sentinel! Oh, the forest canopy is low here. Sentinel! Pillar! Temple, altar, oracle, groovy nook, sacred spots, lightning rod, fur of the earth, wind talker, constantly in prayer to the sky, in touch with the underworld, conductor, conduit, pipeline, where did I might go? Pipeline. Bringer of dreams of all that is possible, impossible millions of seeds floating forth from their host, the one who bore them, the standing tree, standing there diligently, giving birth to possibility and aspiration as precise as the wind. Bird and bee and bug and hummingbird and moth, all who come to Mother Tree for nectar, taste her, make her come, release the seed, release the secret, make us all one, that we are all free, that we are all connected from earth to sky. We die because we were alive. Oh, mighty tree! Make me strong like you. And if there is anything for me to understand, our story, the overstory, a common story, a path across the brook and down the hill and through the trees, I will. You know what? I wrote that after I read a book called The Overstory by Richard Powers. So there's a book tip if you're interested. A book tip. Yeah. So, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So this is the sesquicentennial of San Antonio. It's the 300th anniversary of the founding of our fair city. But wait a minute, there were people here before that. So this is my poem for the sesquicentennial. It's called A Myth for Our Time. And it's about the Blue Hole, the headwaters of the San Antonio River. Before the Spanish marched in, straggled in more likely, thirsty and dusty. Before the Payaya showed up, 500 strong, oh Lord, this enchanted spring. Long before any human beings dwelt here around the mouth of God, the womb of Mother Nature, the cradle of civilization, the water nymphs and the frogs and the tall cypress resided here, occasionally visited by the mastodons, a saber-toothed tiger or two, and the snake people. Okanaclith and Sawanatati, otherwise known as Brother Tree and Sister Brook, tended the garden. They have always been here. It was their voice calling back and forth, O Atakania, O Atakana, where are you? I am here, that sounded in the water splashing on the rocks and the call of the ducks coming down through the trees in the silence at twilight when everything changes. When the first people stood here at the edge of this pool and saw these things 10,000 years ago, they saw more than we see now. And they felt more than we feel now. They knew more than we know now. But they could not imagine us. Heaven is forever and stories are about the past. We can imagine them though. Look back and make a myth. Train your tired eyes to see. Train your weary heart to feel. Find your inner voice and listen. Thank you.